Hi, and welcome to another Top 5 Wednesday. And on a side note, I watched one of Lainey's recent videos, and she's the one that created Top 5 Wednesday, and she talked about like tricks and tips for booktubers. And she made a really good point about saying your name, and I feel like I've said my name like once in a video. It's definitely not connected to my channel name, which isn't even really my channel name. I changed it and I don't like it anyways, but I don't know what to change it to, so it's just gonna stay what it is. But my name is Holly, and I'm gonna try and say that more in my videos so people actually know what my name is instead of me just being like random person on the internets. Okay, so this week's Top 5 Wednesday topic was top 5 love triangles, and I actually really struggled with this one because I'm not a huge fan of love triangles. For a long time I just viewed them as kind of like plot devices to create drama when you couldn't create any other kind of conflict. I still feel that way most of the time, but after I read The Mortal Instruments, I read an interview or saw an interview or something with Cassandra Clare where she said that what she likes about love triangles is that a good love triangle, whoever is, how I view it being like the point of the love triangle, so the person that the other two people want to be with, that if they picked, whoever they picked would change their life completely. And that made sense to me, but I feel like a lot of books don't do those that well, I guess. I swear, on a side note, that I read a theory in one of my college English classes that the love triangle is really just a ruse, and that the two people fighting over the third person really want to be together, and so the third person is just like a surrogate for their feelings for each other. Which, if you think about it that way, it changes things in a lot of ways. In some things, like think about Twilight with that theory, think about X-Men with that theory. The reason I bring these up, we've had these discussions at work. Like, think about X-Men, Wolverine, Jean Grey, and Cyclops in X-Men. It gets interesting in your head. But I've never researched to see if I just made that up in my head or if it is a real theory, but whatever. I've talked enough. So let's talk about my top 5 love triangles. Okay, so the first one is really the reason I just grabbed City of Heavenly Fire because it was the easiest one to grab, but The Mortal Instruments. And I have to put this in here, and I guess it's Simon, Clary, and Jace, even though in my personal opinion, whoever thought Clary was going to end up with Simon is a little... I understand liking Simon, but thinking that he and Clary are going to end up together was a little crazy town. But I put this in here because it is, like I said before, when I realized what a love triangle could be. And honestly, this book is full of love shapes and rhombuses. It's like Revenge of book form or something. I don't know. So this has to go in. And none of these, in my personal opinion, are spoilers, but if you don't want to know, then don't watch. Okay, the next one is The Duke Is Mine by Eloisa James, and this is a historical romance novel, and this one, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a traditional love triangle, but basically you have two sisters, and one of them is engaged to be married to this Duke. No, is he a duke? Yes, he is a duke. Actually, they're both engaged, or one's engaged to a duke who's kind of slower. He wasn't breathing when he was born, so he had some brain damage. But he's a really nice guy. And then her sister is trying to be engaged to another duke, and that duke is the hero of this story. But the first sister and the duke end up having a relationship and being attracted to one another, and so it's this weird love triangle slash rhombus, I guess. It frustrates me to read this book because it feels like a cheating book, and those make me uncomfortable, as we'll discuss later in the video. But it's so interesting because you have all of these different feelings from all of these different characters, plus you have the relationship of being sisters thrown in there, but it's not overly dramatic. It's really honest and beautiful, I guess, even though it frustrates me sometimes. Next is Out of Breath by Rebecca Donovan. This is the last book in the Breathing series. This is the only one with a love triangle, and I don't want to say too much about it. It was probably one of the best ones written because of things. I think it's, I don't want to spoil it, but it's a very interesting, honest, and brave way to look at a love triangle. She did things with her, Rebecca Donovan did things with her characters that most authors would avoid doing. And then the last two, I'm honestly not sure which one I like more. Oof, I guess I have to go with the book I like more and do that one last. So the fourth one is From Lover at Last by J.R. Ward, and one, I'd been waiting for this book for a really long time. This book follows two characters that we've known from nearly the beginning of the series, Blay and Quinn. So it's a male-male romance. One of them, I can never keep them straight in my head. One of them is not like totally on board with the whole like, yeah, I like dudes train. And so he's struggling, and then the other one wants to settle down and have a family, and so he begins this relationship with a woman in their culture to have a baby, and that's what it is. It's, to him, it's just this relationship to have a baby, but she gets emotionally invested, and then there's the guys and their relationship with one another. It's kind of an odd love triangle. I'm not necessarily sure you would call it that in the traditional sense, which apparently is my theme for today's video. But I really, really like it. I think it's really raw. It's really emotional. I love the three of them. This might be a spoiler, but whatever. I'm going to say it. You've been warned. When I put the book down, you can unmute if you don't want to know. But they kind of become this own family. It's not like a menage, that kind of thing, but the three of them come together in an emotional way and are connected and continue to be connected emotionally in the next book in the series, The King, and I really like them. I even like her, even though she can be annoying sometimes, but yes. And the last one is The Love Triangle from Maybe Someday by Colleen Hoover, because I love Colleen Hoover, and this book, it's so good. So the love triangle in here is Ridge, Sydney, and Ridge's girlfriend Maggie. And I said in my review of this book that I didn't want to read it because I'm not a big fan of the cheating books, like I said earlier in this video too, and I'm still not a big fan of them. Like, I actively do avoid them. But Colleen Hoover made me care about all three of the participants in this story, and I was so torn because I wanted Ridge and Sydney together, but I didn't want Maggie to lose, and I didn't want her to have her heart broken, and I loved her story with Ridge, and it just did the feelings I had for all of these characters. I've never felt so strongly like conflicted about a romance before, and a love triangle before. Like, normally I'm very adamantly like team thing, but in here I wanted everyone to be happy, and I'm just, only Colleen Hoover can make me feel this way, so yes. So those are my top 5 love triangles. In the description is a link to a list of all of the people participating in Top 5 Wednesday if you want to check it out. If you have any thoughts on love triangles, let me know down in the comments, and thank you for watching. Bye!